All right, I'm going to have a go at the Guardian's Cryptic Crossword for Thursday, the 10th of July. Set by Matilda. I have a vague memory we've seen Matilda before. Anyway, before we start, the cryptic clue of the day. Yesterday, crazy loon Sterling can't gather himself. Well, the answer was Rolling Stone, an anagram or a crazy version of loon Sterling, with a reference to Sterling Moss, a rolling stone gathers no moss. Well done to Mike as usual. Today, drink noisily, bottom of barrel at last. America has too much, 7. Drink noisily, bottom of barrel at last. America has too much, 7 letters, and U is the second. All right, let's take a waltz with Matilda. Meeting record takes order for food. Oh, well, a meeting record might be a minute. A minute steak takes order. Yeah, I think it is going to be some food, some dish. Minute rice, minute. What else could a meeting record be? Agenda. Yeah, let's try the down. Wine and cheese served up by Republicans. Well, Republicans usually are, and I think we're going to maybe in a down clue serve up or reverse a word for cheese. Oh, there is, the Republicans is not the usual R. I just thought of, well, the cheese, if a minute is going to be right, the cheese might end in M. And I thought of our old standby Edam. And then I reversed that for made, and I thought of Madeira for the wine. And so the Republicans are the IRA. Oh dear. All right, so then 2 down would begin with N. Group problem playing tennis. Maybe it's a group and then possibly a problem playing tennis, like a fault or a let. Oh, you would have a problem playing tennis if there was no net and a non-net, a musical group of 9. All right, this should begin with T. Port, originally in Libya, is needing renovation. Is it going to be a port? I'm wondering about needing renovation as an anagram indicator for Libya is, well, then it wouldn't be minute. But if it is a T, Tripoli, I mean, as the obvious port, but is needing renovation. No, I'm going to come back to that. All right. Prime Minister's Garden. Anthony Eden, Garden of Eden. That's a nice one. Suggestion of heartless bullying. Ooh, does it mean bullying? And we're going to have maybe suggestion could be a word like hint. And then a word for heartless. Or maybe suggestion is the definition and something for heartless, cruel, bullying. I mean, literally heartless might mean emptying out, bullying, but I don't think so. Traveling Brits love a French eatery. It's a nice clue. All right, traveling, we're going to anagram the Brits. And after that, we're going to put O for love from tennis. Of course, Wimbledon is coming to a close at the moment. One each afterwards held as unskilled. Ooh. I'm just wondering about amateurs for unskilled, but I don't know how that would work with the wordplay. One might be I, each can be a, or it can be per. Oh, and that's afterwards. Well, maybe that's going to hold as, held as. No, I don't see it. I do like the way Matilda has these two-parters consecutive. Perhaps I'm grabbed by hint of color. Funny having grabbed twice. I'm wondering if perhaps is an anagram indicator, and we're going to anagram I'm grabbed, and then that might actually be surrounded, grabbed by a word for hint, clue, maybe? Oh, if it was clue, then the second word with a B might be blue, which would be a color, not Prussian blue, navy blue. We still have another, I think we should have a C, cabbage blue. We're going to have another B. Ooh, I think it might be Cambridge blue. Now, I thought a Cambridge blue was somebody who rode for Cambridge, but is there an actual shade of blue called Cambridge blue? I think it's the right letters, though. All right, Armenians, oddly, out of control. Do we take the odd letters? But A, M, and A, no. Maybe they're oddly are out and we leave the even. R, E, I, N, I guess to control, to reign. How to remove plaster and succeed. Well, the best way to remove a plaster is to pull it off. Yes, there we go. Pull it off quickly. I had to do that myself recently. All right, ballot of sporting venue. Again, I like the way, does she do that again for 24? No. Anyway, it's a very nice grid. Ballot of sporting venue. Yeah, I don't get it. I'm sure it'll be very clever. I'm gonna go back to the Downs. Ooh, this does look like Tripoli, so let's put that in. Port, originally in Libya. Yeah, we do have the letters of port, and we also have the initial letters of in Libya is, the ILI, and all of that is needing renovation. So I think this is at least a partial and lit, where the wordplay also gives you the definition. All right, that must be minute something. A term composition to include piano and fiddle. Well, whenever I see A at the beginning of a clue, I think that's going to be part of the answer. A, and then, oh, maybe we anagram term. Oh, and then we have to include P for piano inside the anagram of term. Maybe it's an anagram of a term, but it will include the P, and it's going to mean fiddle, which could be to play the fiddle or it could be to cheat. Yeah, I'm not seeing that anagram. It should be pretty easy, I would think. No, don't see it. George's dysfunctional utopia, followed by many. I'm wondering if dysfunctional is an anagram. Yeah, I'm wondering if we are going to anagram utopia, 6 letters, and then follow it with lot. But then the definition is George or Georges. What is that going to be? Anagram of utopia. No. Oh, actually, I think it's autopilot. I do have a vague memory. Was it Concorde or British Airways named their autopilot system George? I'm going to pause and look that up because it's annoying me. Yeah, apparently it's general aviation slang for the autopilot to be called George, and there are 2 theories. One, that during World War II the RAF pilots called it George after King George, but I think more likely George de Bisson painted the automatic airplane control in 1931. Anyway, take your pick. Rush to contain firm's misfortune. Firm is 90% of the time C-O for company. So I think we're going to have a word for rush. We're going to put C-O inside of it, and it's going to mean misfortune. Not seeing it. Paint technique can feature in fraud. Ooh, maybe it is a type of fraud. Is the first word going to be an ing word? I would have thought the second would. But what would a paint technique? Can might be important, like a tin maybe, or a feature of the can, the toilet. Paint technique, daubing, pointillism. How about celebrity starts to eat dinner with bubbles? Ooh, who's a celebrity? We sometimes see a B-lister. Starts to eat might be just an E. Dinner. With bubbles. I'm wondering if the definition is with bubbles and it's something maybe that would describe sparkling water. but I don't see it. City needs diplomacy to make an undiplomatic declaration. Ooh, I'm wondering if, yeah, I just thought diplomacy is often tact. And so since it's 4-3, I thought, oh, maybe we end the first word with a T and it's something act. And yeah, the city is Rio. Reading the riot act might be an undiplomatic declaration. Let's do another few downs. One benefits from entry in shelter. Wow, one benefits. A shelter can be a lean-to, which is 6 letters. But I don't see it. Florida's capital, not just an amusement park. That's a great clue. Well, Florida's capital is the capital letter, the F. If something is not just, it might be unfair, and that gives us a fun fair. All right, let's finish the acrosses. Revered like this clue, promoting the end can't change. That's great. Revered like this clue. Well, this clue is a cross. It is cryptic. It's 10 letters. No. Backing of shops for public transport. Well, shops might be a mart. And if you reverse that, you get a tram. Gallery has welcomed reactionary party till now. Yes, I think it's going to be a phrase that means till now. To date, I suppose. So what's the gallery is the Tate, and it has welcomed party is a do, but reactionary, I don't know about reactionary. We often see revolutionary, but here reactionary is meant to suggest we reverse it. Having lost weight, student lost heart. All right, I think maybe we have to think of a word for student with a W, and then we lose the W for weight. And yeah, it's going to mean lost heart, but it's going to end in R. Yeah, I don't see that. All right, dog breeders' primary advantage. Yeah, I don't know what this is either. Breeders' primary would be a B. Yes, maybe it's B followed by a word for advantage, and it's going to be a dog, I presume. Oh, an advantage might be an asset, and that gives us a basset hound. Decimal many times. That's a nice clue too. Oh, decimal can mean in powers of 10. So we have seen wordplay like this before where it was in tens, but many times. No, I don't get that. All right, I've looked at everything once. Not terrible, but not great. Now our suggestion of heartless bullying. Um, I wonder if it's a TION word, something like imposition or suggestion of, or what's a word for suggestion beginning with I? No. Or one each afterwards, held as unskilled. Well, the P might be part of per for each. Unless the definition is one each, but I don't think so. But maybe it's one as in the first person. Unskilled. Inept. Slippery would fit. Held as unskilled. No. Yeah, one. I had that L before. One benefits from entry. Logbook? No. In shelter. No. Oh, shelter can be lee. So oh yeah, so it might even end in double E. One who benefits. Ooh, a legatee. Yes, someone who benefits from a will. And the gate is the entry. All right. So now our, excuse me. Oh, it's something ground. Ballot of sporting venue. Surely the second word is ground. Is there a famous, oh, maybe it's one of the football team's home grounds? Sporting venue. But ballot, why ballot? Oh, ballot. Well, I was just thinking, where's the ground going to come from? And of course, ground can indicate an anagram. And so ballot of has 8 letters and it's an anagram of football. So ballot of is football ground. That's very clever. I like that. All right, celebrity starts to eat dinner with bubbles. Yeah, I don't. Is it celebrity? Celebrated? Bristoled? Is that a word? No, not seeing it. All right, how about my. Ooh. Yes, so it is something to do with 10, but it's of 10, are often for many times. All right, having lost weight, student, lost heart. Ooh, a student could be a learner. So how? Yes, so it's the other way around. Having lost weight is the definition. The learner loses the middle letter, the R. All right. Revered, like this clue, promoting the end, can't change. I think it might be a word for can't change, like constant, or, stuck in its ways. But why revered like this clue? No. All right, I have an extra letter now for my paint technique. Can feature in fraud. String pulling. Um, I don't know. String pulling. That's getting using your influence. In fraud, tax dodging. Yeah, but I do think that might be an ing word with no real reason to think that. That doesn't look likely though. S something N something T. So I will cross off that idea. Rush. Oh yeah, I'm not sure about that R, but where would the CO go? Would it go there? And a word for rush. Would that be an S or a G or a C? Let me pause and try and think of words for misfortune. Well, I wasn't getting anywhere with this, so I think this is wrong. I'll get rid of that too. But then I looked up on my suggestion and I was thinking of something like indication of something and then intimation. So I was right about that being TION. And of course, bullying is intimidation, but we take away the ID at the heart of it. Ooh, could it be scourge? I think it might be. Because I think the rush is a surge. Yeah, I was thinking rush as in hurry, but of course it can be a rush of people or things. There we go. And a misfortune could be a scourge. Maybe it's minute stakes. Oh yeah. So the meeting record I think is minutes. And then the word takes we have to reorder and then we get our minute stakes. Another example where I should have kept on at some idea instead of moving to the next thing. All right. Oh, this is the one I thought was going to be an anagram of a term. Yes, to fiddle with something, I should have seen tamper as the anagram. All right, one each, afterwards held. Oh, each might be EA there. Held as unskilled. Doesn't really help me. Unskilled. No. Paint technique can feature in fraud. Could it be string something? But is that a paint? I have just some idea. Maybe it's something I did at a summer camp when I was a kid. I went to some art camp Or maybe you put string and then you paint it over and you pull the string off. I don't know. It sounds like fun anyway. But that would be an I, one each, afterwards held as unskilled. No, don't get that. All right, let me try my celebrity starts to eat dinner with bubbles. All right, let me pause at the, I mean, that must be, I would think R or L. Oh, maybe it is Bliss B list. Ah, yeah. Oh, bubbles. Yeah, I was thinking of nice fizzy bubbles, champagne or soap bubbles. But no, like blistered would definitely be with bubbles. So celebrity is a B lister. And then the starting letters of eat dinner are ED. Ay, ay, ay. Yet again, should have stuck by my guns. All right, revered. Like this clue, promoting the end, can't change. All right, I'm going to pause and think about the first letter. Ah, I think I have it. So when I read like this clue, I even said the word across, and for the third time, I should have thought, okay, I mean, that's the obvious, like this clue across. Promoting the end means we take the word across and we promote the last letter, the ending letter to the beginning, and that gives us sacrose. And then can't change is an anagram of can't, and that gives us sacrosanct for revered. That is very clever. All right, this does look like it might be ing. Can feature in fraud. I think I'm going to go ahead and put in string pulling. We're past the 30-minute mark, which is my own personal guideline before I will check a word. Let's check that. It is correct, but I'm really not sure why it would be correct. All right, so then one, it's probably that I. Each afterwards held as, and then unskilled. I think it must mean unskilled. All right, again, I'm going to pause and think about that second letter. Well, of course, the obvious letter to come next is N, and then seeing NE, somehow my mind thought of afterwards as being next. So the next, the afterwards holds each in expert. That's very convoluted parsing. One, I, and then per, next, held it. So, all right. In the end, that wasn't too bad, but there were some very tricky ones. And then there were a couple I wrote in immediately. So I would say maybe just quite a range of difficulty in this one. All right, let's check all. Everything else is still there. I didn't spot a theme. All right, let's head to 15 squared. All right, the blog is by Eileen, a real treat of a puzzle. I'm always pleased to see Matilda's name. She's on the very top of her form. Oh my goodness. Eileen is really gushing, packed with elegant, witty clues, services home to perfection. My goodness. There were some clues indeed that were very clever. Um, the only one, and I will say, yeah, that I understood the parsing to everything except string pulling. Oh, a can feature is a ring pull inside a sting. Oh, and it is a paint technique. It looks like fun. My goodness. So, big ticks for that. What's the, oh yeah, Tripoli is intended as an and lit. Yeah, I think so too. Ah, so Alex and Christu, Criceto, I don't know how you pronounce that. Excellent. How does George equals autopilot? That's a very good question. Oh, is that not Jeff? Is there Jeff Down Under and someone named Jeff who's also Australian? Oh, and that's in Airplane. Oh, okay, I'd forgotten that part. There's a scam in tourist Paris. I think Alan C is pulling the wool over our eyes there. All right, let me click on the link for the string pulling. So let's see, you do that. Oh, yeah, so maybe I did do it at that art camp low these many years ago. Yeah, I think mine probably looked more like that worm on a string painting and not these wonderful flower ones. All right, well, nothing more to add to that. Anyway, thank you as always for watching and have a great day.